What's up, boys? Long time no see.
Really? Man, 24 hours ago, we were just doing the same darn thing. That countdown music really gets me. I can feel it in my plums. I get tingly when I start hearing that music.
I like that. Oh, I like that. We got Dr. Foy with us, noted Durs enthusiast.
PhD in Durs.
That's Commanders for anybody who doesn't know, not Durs from the show. Workaholics, yeah. I was blanking on that for sure. Today we're going to go through our picks. We saved that from yesterday for today. We're going to leave the Ravens game for last because we're going to let Foy learn us something on the Durs today. Kind of give you a little preview of what we think is going to happen in this game. Probably going to be wrong. But regardless, I think it's going to be an awesome game because Jaden Daniels is a stud.
Well, I know the Ravens are going to beat the Commanders. I'm actually looking forward to Foy enlightening us on the Commanders because I don't know too much about them in detail. So I think this will be educational, at least for me.
You're going to learn today.
Like Brooks said, we're going to save that game for last. So we're going to start with our picks for week 6. We might as well just get right into it, boys, tonight. Thursday, October 10th, we got Niners at Seahawks. Seahawks are getting 3.5 at home. The over-under is 49.5. What do we like in this game? What do we think is going to happen?
1 minute. Let me pull it up for everybody to take a look at. And we are in. I think we're in. Yeah, we're in. We are in.
All right.
Everybody see that all right?
Mm-hmm. Dusty, why don't you call on people and then they can give their opinion?
Okay. Sean, you're our guest. What do you think tonight?
Be our guest.
I'm hoping / thinking it's going to be a shootout. So as far as like total, I'd take the over. I think San Fran's going to win. I could see Seattle covering, but San Fran I think has won 5 straight against them. They haven't looked the same, but if they lose and fall to 2-4, that puts them in a tough spot. I just think they're better than Seattle almost everywhere, and think they'll find a way to win. So I think it'll be a shootout. I could see it being like a 28-27 win or something like that. But I'm going to put my money on San Fran, but I do think Seattle covers.
Oh, okay. So you're going to pick Seattle to cover.
Going Seattle.
Yep, Seattle to cover.
Seattle to cover.
Seattle to cover.
All right, Brian, what you got?
I like everything Floyd said right there, except when in doubt, I'm going to take either the home team or the better quarterback. Now in this way, those are contradictory. I don't trust Geno Smith, even though I know he's throwing for a ton of stuff right now. And I also like when you look at the coaching staff, I'll take Kyle Shanahan over Mike McDonald. So I'm going to take San Francisco and the cover.
This guy doesn't trust anybody, does he? This guy has trust issues. Geno's been good for like 3 years now. So consider that a trend at this point, right? Is the guy just good at this point?
No.
But that being said, I think this is a get-right game for San Fran. They haven't lived up to the billing. I know there's been some drama with the offseason stuff. There's been some injuries and everything like that. Seattle's defense hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks. So I'm gonna take San Fran in a get-right.
I mean, that's smart because, you can never trust the West Virginia quarterbacks, specifically since Sean went to West Virginia.
Shots fired. I like Geno. He's been awesome, but I think Purdy and that I think they're a little better everywhere.
I mean, you know what they say about West Virginia? It's the Harvard of the East.
Wild and wonderful.
I like the Niners too. I think they win and cover. I think they're going to win this game pretty handily. I do think everyone is going to be on the over. I said that before we went live.
I think
be careful with the over. If you like it, go for it. I think there's a chance this definitely can turn into a shootout, but I can also see the Niners just running the ball straight at that Seahawks D-line that's been struggling and banged up the last few weeks. I think a lot of Jordan Mason in this game and a little bit of George Kittle. I like San Fran to win and cover. Next game on the card would be Sunday morning in London. We got Bears Jags. The Jags are kind of the proverbial home team here in London. I think they had 2 straight in London. But they're getting 1.5 from the Chicago Bears. Brian, what do you got on this one?
These games are notoriously trash with the London games. I'm going to go ahead and I think this is tough. I'm going to go with the Jags. And to what they get, are they getting points?
They're getting
I'll
a point
take
and
the
a half.
points. I'll take the points in the Jags. They're in desperation mode, and their quarterback's a little bit more seasoned than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same way. I think I'm gonna go with the Jags just because they got to figure it out against eventually. I think they're much better than what they've been playing, even though they did win last week. But maybe last week was a get right game for him with a hot Colts team with Joey Flack at the helm. But yeah, plus 1.5. The Jags have done this way too many times, going in terms of like going over there, the scheduling and everything like that, and the best way to prepare for flying over there and having a game over there at 9:30 in the morning. Whereas I don't know if anybody on the Bears has done that recently. So I'm just going to go with that just because I think this is a pick-em game. I'm not really sure, so I'm going with the Jags.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags as well. I hate this. It's a team play for us. These don't normally work out for us. But I think the Jags kind of figured something out with their offense last week. I think Brian Thomas is going to be more of a focal point moving forward, and Tank Bigsby, I think, is going to continue to eat into Etienne's carries because he's just flat out been performing better. I don't trust this Bears team. I don't think their offensive line is good. I think this could be a weird London over, but I'm not betting that because that just has L written all over it. Sean, talk us out of this, or are you riding with us?
I'm going to go against you. I'm going Bears. I don't think much about either team, to be completely frank. But I just think Trevor Lawrence is kind of a fraud. He's been so up and down and just hard to rely on. And I don't love Caleb, but he started to look better, looked really good last week. They do have a ton of talent on that offense. DJ Moore's a stud. Maybe they're starting to figure it out. And I think this is pretty much a pick 'em, but if I had to, gun to my head, I'll go Bears.
And to expound on the Jag, is it Brian Thomas?
He's a stud.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be good. I didn't know he was going to be this good. He might be the second best receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
And the top, if he's number 2, then the top 2 both went to LSU.
Yeah, Neighbors, Harrison, Odunze's been struggling. He's been hurt a little bit, but yeah, they LSU putting out another crazy class between Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr.
They used to be a DBU, right? Defensive back U. Now they're wide receiver U.
Yeah, absolutely. Complete studs there. Hopefully they can continue to produce because I like watching their players play in the NFL. We are going to skip over the next game, which is Washington versus Baltimore, because we're going to save that for the end. We're going to do that one in depth. So the next game on the card looks like it will be Buccaneers at the Saints. Brooks, if you want to scroll that down for us. Buccaneers at the Saints. The Saints are 3.5-point dogs at home. I believe Spencer Rattler is their starting quarterback for this game. The over-under is 41.5. I personally am not going to be touching this game with a 10-foot pole. But if you got to put a gun to my head, I would take the Bucs just because I think Spencer Rattler is a complete joke.
I'm on the Bucs hard here. I'm on the Bucs pretty hard here. Just because I think we're starting to see, I think the Saints are coming back down the earth. I don't think Tampa played very well last week. And I think Tampa's good. I think they're pretty damn good. So give me Tampa Bay.
Sean, go ahead, man.
I'm taking Tampa. Even if Carr was playing, I think I'd take Tampa. I think New Orleans has been figured out. They've looked like shit the last 3 weeks, and I don't have much. I'm intrigued to see how Spencer Rattler does, but yeah, I just think Tampa's better everywhere.
Spencer Rattler's one of the ugliest human beings I've ever seen in my entire life.
That should go into your decision.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's like right out of Moneyball, right? ugly girlfriend. Tampa Bay is a better team. The only way New Orleans wins this game, even if Derek Carr was playing, is the defense would have to win the game. Cam Jordan, and a Brees from Clemson would have to come up huge. So I'm absolutely taking the Bucs. You got Baker, and then you got these two great wide receivers. So I'm Tampa big, and I think that line could be 6.
So if you're watching, bet the Saints.
Yeah, this is that's
Team
got
ride.
That's got fishy written all over it. I'm not taking that game at all.
You can't take a guy wearing a Freddy Krueger mask playing quarterback. You can't.
It is Halloween season.
It's spooky season.
Spooky season.
All right. Next game is Browns at the Eagles. The Eagles are 9.5-point favorites at home.
That's a lot.
After a bye. It seems like a get-right spot for the Eagles. I think that's why the line is so high. They get A.J. Brown back. They're probably getting Devontae Smith back as well. Over-under's 42.5. This Browns team looks abysmal. Sean, let's go to you first.
I'm actually torn on this. I think the Browns are terrible, but 9.5 is just so many points. And there's just been something off with the Eagles for like the last 13 games they've played in. They just haven't looked the same. Even healthy earlier this year, they didn't look great. I definitely see the Eagles winning. I wouldn't be shocked if the Browns covered. 9.5 is just a shit ton of points. But so I guess I'm going to take the Browns to cover. But I mean, I think the Eagles are going to win. The Browns look terrible. They're bad their defense is solid, but that offense is so bad that it puts the defense in tough spots. They're just
I don't even think their defense has been that great this year, has it? But I mean, they're also probably tired from being on the field.
Yeah, they've also been missing Garrett for I think most of the season.
Yeah, and I think even when he's played, he's like playing on one leg. But
yeah.
I'm hoping we see Jameis this week. I love Jameis. Let him sling it. But nah, I think the Eagles will win. But as far as points, I'll take the Browns to cover.
Brian, you got this.
The Eagles win. Browns cover. Is this a Floyd basically said everything. I'm not going to beat a dead horse on this one.
Yeah.
But is this the losing coach gets fired game?
No.
Ooh.
I could see the Philly fans wanting to light Sirianni on fire if they lose. I feel bad for Stefanski. Like, I guess they kind of made their bed, but like, I don't think he's a bad coach. That's just such a terrible situation right now. But maybe they clean house.
I heard a lot of people on TV saying that, like, man, if Stefanski gets fired, there's going to be a line out the door wanting him because nobody's blaming him for what's going on right now.
It reminds me a lot of the Frank Reich situation where he didn't want to play that quarterback.
Yeah,
in Carolina, he did not want to play Bryce Young. He didn't want Bryce Young.
Yeah, he wanted Stroud,
and the owner made him pick him. And then when he sucked, the owner was like, "Well, screw you. You can't develop a quarterback. Bye."
Yeah. Brooks, who you got?
I'm with Foy on the fact that obviously the Eagles haven't looked right the last 6 games of last year and most of this year. They did have one game where their offense looked pretty fucking good and the defense didn't look great. And I think that might have been the one at the bachelor party, maybe the week after. I'm gonna ride the Eagles here. I think they're just, especially with AJ Brown coming back, and I think Jalen Hurts can figure it out pretty quickly. And this would be the team to do it against. So,
yeah, I'm with you on the Eagles. I'm not sure the Eagles should be favored by 9.5 over anybody. I really don't think they're all that great, but I think this Browns team is awful, and I'm still kicking myself for trying to get cute and take them against the Durs last week. I'm just going to take the Eagles to blow them out. Just to, I can't in good conscience pick the Browns at this point anymore. I just don't think I can do it. All right, next game, Colts at Titans. Looks like the Titans are favored by 2.5, and the over/under is 43.5. Brian, you start with this one.
You can't trust Will Levis. Give me the Fighting Flaccos and the cover. I will take the Colts all day. Give me the horsies.
Yep, I'm taking the Horsies as well. If they can figure out their defense, which I think they have a decent one, they're not playing great right now. And their offense looks great with Joey Flack at the helm. So them being a dog here, I'm gonna ride that.
Sean?
I'm gonna go Flacco. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel great about the Colts, but the Titans are just kind of a mess. Levis is all over the place. Yeah, fighting Flacco's.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I think there is a chance Anthony Richardson plays in this game, and if he does, I think that the opinion changes here. I think the Titans defense could definitely get after him. I don't think the Colts defense is very good. I don't think Will Levis is very good at all. I'm not betting on this game in real life, but just for the sake of being different, I'm going to go for the Titans.
I mean, so you're going to have a quarterback who does backflips because that helps for the Colts. Then you're going to have a quarterback for the Titans who party pumps before he goes out to the field because he's got great arms with veins popping out everywhere. He's like Brady Quinn on steroids. This sounds like a great matchup to watch. I wouldn't watch this game at all. I'd throw my remote at the television.
This isn't going to make your quad box?
No, it is not. I'd rather look at Andrew Siciliano's inner ear with his big flaps.
I mean, just pull up Billy Jeans's last video he put out. It's great director's cut.
Foy is a huge Will Levis fan, as we know at the bachelor party, from videos that he posts.
I like the content.
I'm just all about the content.
Yeah, that was a short film. We're going to talk about the Texans Patriots next. Texans are going to New England. The line here is 7. I think it was 7.5 before. It looks like the over-under is 38.5. I don't know. I'm going to go first here. I think Drake May's playing, so maybe the Patriots get a little bit of a spark. Nico Collins, the league's leading receiver in the league, is out for the Texans. He's on IR, so he'll be out for at least the next 4 weeks. I think this is going to be a situation where everyone's going to be on the Texans, so I'm just going to zag and take the Pats. Let's go Drake May.
Sean, go ahead, bub.
I'm going to go Texans. I'm definitely intrigued to see how Drake May looks. Ooh, line just went 6.5.
Little change here.
Dustin.
Ooh, sorry. You're Dusty. You're already locked in.
I got it at 7, baby. I got it at 7. I don't want that. FanDuel just bought the hook.
That's the first.
They're listening. They're listening.
I'll take Houston. Stroud's a stud. I like May. I'm intrigued to see how he does, but tough first game, even though they are at home. That helps, but I'm gonna go Houston.
Go, Brooksy.
I'm gonna ride the Pats because historically, when there is a quarterback change, there is a little bit of a bump. I'm gonna take the Pats to cover, not necessarily win. Am I getting that at +7?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking the Texans and the cover. I think we might be calling Drake May Ichabod Crane by the end of this game because I think he's going to get absolutely splattered by the Texans D. And I also like, even though Collins is out, I mean, having Tank Dell as a backup option is not a. And I mean, for some reason, why do I have a weird feeling Bobby Trees gets a touchdown in this? Robert Woods. It comes out of like left field and gets touched.
I still got Diggs down there.
That's true. I mean, I think the target rate for Tank Dell is about to skyrocket over the next 4 weeks. CJ Stroud does nothing but talk all the good things in the world about that guy in the media. Next game, Cardinals at Packers, the final 1 o'clock we'll talk about before we talk about Ravens Commanders later. Cardinals at Packers. Packers are favored by 5.5 at home. This over-under is pretty high at 47.5. Brooks, let's jump to you first here.
I don't know. I don't know. This is a fishy line to me. I feel like the Packers should be favored by a little bit more just because I think they're a better team. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals to cover. I think Green Bay wins, but give me the Cards to cover.
I think this has got Cardinals backdoor written all over it. I think the Packers are going to control the early part of the game with the run. And then I think Kyler Murray's going to do some weird stuff, and he's going to be in the red zone the whole second half, and they're going to lose by 3. So give me the Cardinals to backdoor plus the 5.5.
I think this is a turnover fest by the quarterbacks. I will still take the Packers and the points, laying the points. I think the better quarterback and the better and the home team. I'll take the Packers.
I'm going to take the Packers to cover. I just think Arizona's up and down. They had a nice win last week, but on the road, they have like a weird thing where someone might have mentioned this earlier and I might have missed it. They're like really good to start games. Like their first script is awesome and they normally score early. And then, their track record has been their offense is pretty shaky after the jump. So not super confident they'll go on the road and be very good. I'm going to take the Packers.
All right. Fair enough. 2 for the Cards, 2 for the Pack there. As we move on to the 4:00 window of games. The first game we got here, Brooks, if you want to scroll down, is Chargers Broncos. And it looks like this line has moved since this morning. Now to Chargers -3. It was 2.5. And 35.5 is the over-under. Wow, that is low. Sean, you go ahead first here.
Do we know, is Justin Herbert playing?
I believe so, but let's double check that. Maybe
If
that's
he
why
is-
it went to 3.
If he is, I'm going to take the Chargers. I know maybe Bo Nix has figured some things out, but I just don't think the Broncos are great. I think the Chargers will run the ball, and if it's Taylor Heineke versus Bo Nix, that would change my thought. But I'm gonna go Chargers.
It looks like Herbert's going to play. He's questionable, but he's limited practice all week. So I would think they're just kind of resting him during the week and letting him play.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers.
I'm on the record as saying the only reason the Broncos won last week is because they wore those absolutely studly, tasty, delicious uniforms. Well, they're not wearing them this week, so they will lose, and they will get smoked by the Chargers. Give me the Jim Harbaughs, the Hammer and Harbaughs. Take the Chargers and to cover.
Yep, I'm taking the Chargers and to cover as well. I don't really have anything else to add that you guys already said. So
I think it's going to be a cold weather game. Two teams that have pretty good defenses and pretty shaky offenses. Give me the home team and the noise and the points. I'll take Denver. Playing devil's advocate here.
you're gonna regret that.
I hope I do. Next game, Steelers at Raiders. Yuck.
Ooh.
I don't want to watch this game even a little bit. These offenses are going to be so inept. I think Aiden O'Connell is starting this game for the Raiders. There's been a little bit of Russell Wilson buzz, but I would imagine Fields gets at least one more start. Raiders are getting 3 at home. I don't want to watch a minute of this game. I don't know. Give me the Raiders.
What's the full screen graphic for this game? Is it the two coaches?
Probably Watt and Crosby.
Yeah, there you go.
Watt and Crosby, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, Jesus.
I'm going to take the Steelers. I think both teams kind of suck, but Steelers are coming off a loss. They figure out ways to win, which I think is like, I was having a conversation with a friend who's a Steelers fan. Like, if I'm a Steelers fan, I would like kind of hate the spot that they're in because they're going to win 9 games and they're going to have to be another year away where they can't get a quarterback because they're not bad enough and they just never invest in like trading a haul for a top pick to get a quarterback. Like they're just kind of stuck, but their defense is better than Vegas.
They could sign Dak Prescott in the offseason.
They probably should. Like they probably should have offered Kirk Cousins $200 million. Like Russell Wilson and Fields are just so average. Like it was so inevitable to know that.
Yeah.
Even though they won the first few games, Russell Wilson's going to play at some point. Like Fields is what he is, but the Raiders suck. So I'm going to go Steelers. But yeah, it's the fact that number is 36.5 is wild. I'd probably take the under.
Yeah, give me the better coach team. I'll take the Steelers and to cover. I would love to see a prop bet. I'm sure we can pull it up. I'd love to see a prop bet on over under the number of sacks in this game. Those two stud defensive ends.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on Pittsburgh as well. I think Pittsburgh fans have hated the spot that they're in for 3 years now. I think they feel like they're just kind of lost in perpetuity right now they don't know which way to go. They're just going to sit there and finish one game above 500 every single year. But with that being said, I'm taking the Steelers to cover. I wholeheartedly think this is going to be a push.
Yeah, this game's not going to be on my television. Falcons at Panthers. 6.5 is the line. Panthers are getting 6.5 at home. Over unders 46.5. I think the Panthers are terrible. I think Andy Dalton was a 1 week flash in the pan. I think the Falcons are improving. I don't think they're that great. I don't love this, but give me the Falcons on the road.
I agree. Pretty much agree with everything you said. Give me the Falcons. They're not great, but they're better than Carolina.
I think this is a come down game for the Falcons. I will take the Panthers and the points.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the Falcons. Give me primetime Kurt. He's been filling it up, that's for sure. But they haven't really beat anybody handily yet, have they? This could be that game, or does Carolina get some brownie points for sheltering a bunch of people at their stadium and doing that and doing they're doing some kind of a fundraiser for all the Carolina stuff and offering up the stadium for free for the Asheville people. But yeah, give me the Falcons to cover. They should win by a touchdown. Good for Tepper doing something good for once.
Yeah, no shit. And, I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, we crap on the guy all the time. Everyone craps on the guy, but that was really nice. And then just to get away from this for a second, holy shit! Hey, what up, baby? How about the videos of Trop? Holy hell!
Oh yeah, that was not good.
It's got to be the best thing that's ever happened to the Trop.
Now, were people in there at the time that the roof got ripped off?
There were a few, but they said there were no injuries. I think it was more a staging area for first responders to sleep in. I don't think most of them were there, but apparently I read that like whoever is in there is just like staying in like the corridors now, so they're not out on the field.
Yeah, I would be blocking myself in one of those bathrooms or in the concessions or something like that.
Yeah.
I also think now it's like pretty. I could be wrong, but like I think the crazy part is past. So
yeah,
I think now they're good.
There,
but yeah, still.
My mom and dad are down there in the Cape Canaveral area, so the Atlantic side across from Tampa. My mom called me earlier. We were about to start this. So I told her I'd call her back, but said that they're in the hotel. They have no power, but like everything is kind of past them now, and like everyone, like, not crazy amounts of damage, but obviously lost power. My mom doesn't move too well, so she can't go downstairs, so that there's no elevator access. So she's kind of locked in the room.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's I mean, this is just going to give them even more firepower to get a new stadium, which is good because they need it because the taxpayers. It's either going to be that or this is going to make with the insurance claim the tax, whatever the tax they're going to say that they're going to raise is going to be less than whatever they proposed in the past, and maybe they'll get it passed. Yeah, but yeah. So, all right. But at least it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
Back to football. We're going to go Lions at Cowboys. This is the 4:00 game that's going to be on everybody's TV. The look-ahead line for this game when you before the season started was Cowboys -1. So this line has moved 4 points since then. Yeah, he might be. Jared Goff is great indoors. This is one of those games. I expect this to be a complete and total shootout. I'm gonna go against the grain and take the Cowboys plus the points just because I don't think they should be getting 3.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take Detroit. This is the game last year that they got hosed on the 2-point conversion call. I think they'll be fired up. And Dallas has been up and down. They dominated the Steelers last week, but had terrible turnovers that kept the Steelers in the game. So I think Dallas will probably play better, but Detroit's offense is money, and the Dallas defense has not been great with all the injuries. I'm going to go Detroit to cover.
Yeah, give me not Dallas. Give me Detroit to cover as well. I'm gonna ride them. I don't trust Dallas at all.
I'm in lockstep with all you guys.
Great.
Well,
Okay, I'm going against the grain. I think four out of
right.
the games we've done already.
I thought you were
Crazy.
on Detroit as well.
No. I'm on the
Oh.
Cowboys. Sunday night football. Bengals at Giants. Before last week, I think if the Giants lose that game to Seattle last week, I think this line's closer to 7. I don't think the Giants are very good. It seems like Malik Neighbors is going to be back after his concussion. The Bengals offense looked like a whole lot to handle. I don't think the Giants have any chance of keeping up with them. I'm going to take the Bengals minus 3.5 on the road, and I hate it.
I'm going to go Bengals too. I just think they're the best 1-4 team of all time. That offense looks like it's humming now. They're like 2 plays away from being 3-2. So I'm going to go. I don't think the Giants are very good. I mean, it's a nice win on the road in Seattle. Like, it's never easy to win there, but I don't think they're good enough to play that well back-to-back weeks. I'm going to go Bengals.
Bengals offense is humming, like you said. The Bengals' weakness is their offense. Thank God they're playing a team that sucks. So I will definitely take the Bengals.
Great, guys. Great. Yeah, quick answer, no talent. That's what I think about the Giants. Give me the Bengals. Too much talent.
It's a team play for the boys. All 4 of us on the Bengals. Everyone out there, take your Saints-Giants parlay to the bank.
Yeah.
Because that is hitting.
Neighbors are going to put up like 200 and some yards probably.
Yeah. Okay, last game of the week before we get to Ravens Commanders is the Monday Night Football game, Bills at Jets. And if the Jets win this game, they'll be in first place in the division. If the Bills win this game, they'll be in first place in the division. Kind of crazy to think about. The Jets just fired their coach, Big Bob Saleh. I think they're going to get a little bit of a rally around the new coach. It seems like that happens quite a bit. They're getting points, and Buffalo looks terrible. Give me the Jets plus the 2 points. I don't like this either. I really don't like any of these games.
I have already bet this game. I put a dime on it. Right when Saleh got fired, I didn't want to see the line move, so I bet $100. I will take the Jets all day, just for what Dusty said. There is inevitably a bump. There's a little bit more. Not that they didn't care before, but there's just like a little extra added oomph to a team when their coach gets fired.
Yeah, give me the fighting fireman heads.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm just going to go Bills. I get the bump part. I just don't think the Jets are very good. I think Rodgers is a roller coaster and kind of a nightmare, and I just think the Bills are better everywhere. I'm going to go Bills, especially coming off that loss last week. The Bills will be fired up. I'm going to go Bills. Bigly.
Really?
New word. Fireman Ed was on McAfee, and that's the first time I really heard him talk instead of scream when he's at the stadium. Man, that's a New York accent, baby. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Brooks, click on that Commanders-Ravens game. See if we can get some more stuff going. You can see all kinds of weird stuff here. We've got now the last game that we're going to talk about. This is the game that we care about the most here on this podcast. Mr. Foy is our resident Commanders fan. That's why he's on to talk to us today. We'll let you talk about the Commanders for a little bit. We'll save our picks for a little while. Let's just talk about the game first.
Cool.
What do you think of the team so far? Offense, defense. What's the highlights, the lowlights? Obviously, Jaden Daniels is going to be the highlight, right?
Yeah, I mean the season's been awesome so far. Obviously, Daniels has been a lightning rod and has been pretty awesome. His last game against the Browns was probably their sloppiest game offensively, and they still scored 34 and sat their starters for the entire fourth quarter. So he's been awesome. They are it's probably the first time ever that I can confidently say the Ravens and Commanders are similar in the sense that I think they both have really good offenses and both have shaky defenses. I think the Ravens are a little bit better on offense and better on defense, but they have similar strengths and weaknesses. Daniels has been awesome. Going into the season, we thought the offensive line would be a nightmare. They've been really good. I think a lot of that is him, but they've been good. Their running game has been insane. Austin Eckler looks like he's 24. He's been awesome. Their receivers are not great. I mean, McLaurin's really good. After that, it's kind of a hodgepodge of 3 different guys that make up their number 2 receiver. Like each week, someone kind of steps up. So they're not great, but Daniels has just kind of figured it out. They run the ball a ton. The first couple of weeks, they didn't take a ton of shots downfield. Now they're throwing downfield all the time. So opened it up a little bit. Their defense is not good. Their front 7 is decent. They've got 2 really good defensive tackles. Their inside linebackers are good, but their secondary is trash, and their defensive ends are average. So I think they're going to have a hard time stopping the Ravens, but I hope it's a shootout. I feel like a lot of games we expect to be shootouts end up being slugfest, so I hope it's not that. I'd love it to be a 38-35 win for someone, but
what's their O-line like? What's your O-line like?
Their O-line's been good. I mean, they don't have like their right guard is Sam Cosme. He's probably going to be an all-pro. Like, he's a stud. Their tackles are fine. They've got a rookie playing left tackle, so they don't have Trent Williams isn't walking through that door, but their line has been really, really underrated and pretty valuable. Now, it helps that when a defensive end, blows past your left tackle, Daniels just kind of, gets out of it pretty easily. So he definitely makes them look better, but we expected it to be a huge concern and it hasn't been, but I think Daniels has a lot to do with that.
What about the, when I ask about the line, I specifically asked, and I should have qualified, the interior portion.
The interior is the best.
That's where we get a lot of our pressure right now, are those 2 big D tackles coming up the middle, which won't allow Daniels to do that step up. And maybe he can go wide, but how's the middle of your
That's going to be the big, probably like one of the most important parts of the game, because that is the best part of their offensive line. Their center and their 2 guards have been awesome. Their tackles are shaky, but if there is a strength on their line, it is the interior. So I'm sure it'll be a slugfest where there'll be drives where the Skins offensive line does really well, and then there'll be drives where Metabuke, whatever the hell his name is, however we pronounce it, just blows things up. So it'll be a battle in there, but that is a strength of their line. But I think it'll be a good game. I'm hoping it's a shootout. I don't know if we want to wait to make our picks after, but they've been fun to watch. It's been awesome. Jaden has been pretty essentially perfect. I don't expect his completion percentage to be 80% for the rest of the year. Like that obviously is going to go down, but Cliff Kingsbury has been much better than I thought he would be. I was pretty underwhelmed when they hired him, but he's been really good the last few weeks, and they're just fun to watch. Their running game has been fun. I mean, they're not, they don't have a Derrick Henry, but Eckler, Robinson, and Jaden running the ball has been pretty successful.
Yeah, and I'm with
Nichols, dude.
I'm with Pigtown Sports on this. The spread shocks me on this. I can't believe it's 6.5 with how Commanders have been playing recently.
And I think it's a lot. I mean, I think Washington's defense might be terrible. They've played much better the last few weeks, but they haven't. I mean, the Browns are terrible. They were pretty good against Kyler. Now the Cardinals are up and down, but they got shredded the first week. They were awful last year. Now they have 6 new starters and a completely different staff, so it's hard to compare, but their defense has been bad for a while. They're playing much better, but I don't expect them to stop Lamar and Henry. I mean, if they can force a couple punts, that would be ideal, but I don't expect their defense to make a ton of big plays.
I don't agree with Pigtown Sports on the 2 or 2.5. I think maybe a 4 or 4.5, kind of right down the middle.
Yeah.
But
excuse me. Probably.
But I think this is where Zach Orr is gonna show if he's gonna be a decent defensive coordinator, because you can't let a rookie quarterback beat you. You got to beat disguising some coverages. Maybe some of that stuff where the old Rex Ryan and maybe even some of the Wink Martindale defense stuff, where you got a lot of guys kind of just walking around, not in a specific position to kind of throw him off. He doesn't know where the rush is actually coming from. I could really see something like that happening. But I'm not a defense coordinator. I'm not going to pretend to be a defensive coordinator. But I've seen that stuff work in the past with rookies before. So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw that.
Going back to the line stuff, I was listening to Belichick talking about this game, or talking about the Reds or the Commanders, racist in general. He thinks that the way to be, and you were talking about the line and getting pressure up the middle, has kind of been our best asset. And you're talking about pushing him out to the sides. Belichick thinks the best thing to do with Daniels at this moment would be to kind of keep him in the box and kind of surround him and keep somebody up the middle so he doesn't take off up the middle and make him throw the ball and beat you from the pocket. That tells me in general he does not like throwing with people in his face. He's probably not as accurate from inside the pocket, and he says that when he gets outside the pocket and nobody's in his face, that's when he's at his best because he can see everything so much better. Which I thought was an interesting conversation that he was having on the show. So we all know Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks and how good of a schemer he is. So I'm going to be looking for that in the game to see if we actually try that or if it's something that we make an adjustment at some point during the game if we're flushing him and we try to keep him in the pocket a little bit more. Because I remember that they tried to do that with Lamar at the beginning of his career, and it ended up working out pretty well when they just kind of kept him in the pocket and they had somebody spy him up the middle so he couldn't just take off and keep him in there and make him make throws before he got a lot more accurate.
So you're talking about maybe these D linemen like acting like they're going to rush and then kind of just drop back and be 5 yards off the ball?
No, almost like dying slowly. So you're going to rush, but you're not going to sit there and blow. You're not going to sit there and try to flush him out the pocket. You're going to kind of try to come up the sides, but don't keep going up the sides so he can get out. But you're kind of just trying to keep him in there.
Contain.
Yeah. Trying to keep him in there and make him beat you with your arm and don't let him get out and be able to see the field and make a play.
I think the X factor.
Yeah. And I'll be interested to see if they use like Kyle Hamilton as a spy kind of throughout the game. They just have someone
exactly
for him. Cause that's been like, they'll run some design runs with him probably 4 or 5 times a game, but his biggest plays with his legs have been just scrambling or extending plays. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's the same formula for Lamar and every stud running quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you want to keep him in the pocket, but whether you can is another thing.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's exactly what I was going to say. I think Kyle Hamilton's going to play a lot closer to the line of scrimmage in this game than in most games. Obviously, that's scary because Jaden Daniels throws one of the most accurate deep balls in the league so far. I mean, he's been unbelievable at hitting those deep shots. So it would be scary. I would imagine we're going to have probably more defensive backs on the field in order to help with that. But I think Roquan and Kyle Hamilton are really going to be the X factors on our defense. If we can contain Jaden Daniels and keep him, him doing crazy shit.
I'd be interested to see like with the stats with his completion percentage, and is this why Belichick's bringing this up? Is it because he's getting outside the pocket or designing rollouts or some of these RPO stuff where he's keeping it and then flushing to the right or something like that? Is his completion percentage so high because when he's outside the pocket? And I'd like to see what it is outside the pocket versus inside the pocket. I think that'd be a cool stat to look at to see if it's actually if it's going to kill us keeping him in the pocket if his completion percentage is still that good.
He's been really good at getting out of the pocket and still looking downfield and not just running. Like last week, they had like a 3rd and 10 on one of their first drives, and they had a free blitzer come in. He made a miss, rolled to the right, and threw a 70-yard dime to McLaurin. Like he's been good at still looking to throw as he moves. But the completion percentage, some of it is a little inflated because the first 6 quarters of the season, they threw a ton of screens and a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage and around the line of scrimmage. They've done a lot less of that lately. They're throwing the ball downfield a lot more, but he just hasn't put a lot of balls in harm's way. Like he's just been really good at like throwing guys open, or like when Zach Ertz is open for 9 yards, hitting him and then just, living to see another down. Like Zach Ertz is nowhere near what he used to be. He'll catch everything, and he's not going to make anyone miss. He's pretty much going to catch it and be tackled right there. But he's been like a solid safety blanket for him. But it'll be. I'm excited to see it. I think the line is big. I think the Ravens will win. But I think the Skins will cover. I could see it being like a 34-30 type game. like I said, I think they're very similar in the sense that they've got explosive offenses and defenses that have been shaky. But I think the Ravens' defense is better than Washington's, and I think right now I would still trust Baltimore's offense a little more than Washington's. But I mean, it wouldn't stun me if the Skins won, which would have stunned me a month and a half ago. But they've been kind of rolling. But I still think Baltimore is just a hair better.
Hey, Pigtown, if you want to chime in on this one, man, do you think this is a trap number? You think this 6.5 is a trap number? Do you guys think it's a trap number? Like, it's almost like they want you to take the Redskins.
I think they're begging you to take Washington. I think normally I think this line really should be around 4.5 or 5. I really think that they want you to take Washington, which tells me Baltimore is in a good position here. But also, I've been thinking that way all season about all types of games. I thought that way about the Browns-Commanders game last week, and I thought it was a trap line, and it just wasn't. This Commanders team is consistently outperforming what Vegas is expecting of them. I really do think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to look pretty similar to the Bengals-Ravens game last week. I think we're gonna see a couple scary Terry long ones. I think we're going to see a weird Diami Brown long one. But I think Lamar and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers are going to be able to keep consistently moving the ball. And I think really like time of possession on offense would be awesome if we could dominate that.
So sounds like Foy is on the Durs, obviously.
Yeah.
I think this is awesome, and I guess we'll do our picks now since we're kind of getting into it.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that this rivalry can actually become a little bit more of a rivalry again.
Yeah.
I think it's great watching the Commanders being relevant again. I think, and not just because like the NFC East is a shitty division. It's everybody in that division is pretty good. I think, pretty decent, and the Commanders look great. So with that being said,
tried to flex this game too to a night game, and CBS wouldn't let them. But
Yeah.
With that being said, I think Ravens win. I do think Commanders cover. So give me the Durs to cover.
Dusty?
I got the Vens. I think we'll win this. I think we'll win this game by 7 or 10 points. I think we're going to put up a lot of points.
Yeah, I obviously bought the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens. I feel like it's a trap. They want you to take the Commanders and the points. I think the Ravens win by 10. But I completely agree. What we got? But a 6-point line, they're expecting a blowout. It's just weird. Okay. I mean, I got you. Big Town. I agree with what Brooks said. It's so nice that this is actually a rivalry again. And you got a good – and it seems like both organizations now are being run – well, the Ravens have always been run well. It seems that the Commanders now are run in a very good – they're staying in their swim lane. They're knowing exactly what they need to do. There's no more drama bullshit around them. I mean, they still have a shitty stadium, and we can all agree on that one.
Yeah.
But
it's not the new owner's fault.
Yeah, not the new owner's fault whatsoever. But I'm so happy that this is actually a good, 95 rivalry again. The Battle of the Beltways is back, baby. And I don't think it ever was really here. So I'm just happy it's back. And I'm actually happy for all my friends I went to college with who were Redskins, Commanders fans. I mean, my girlfriend Kirsten is a Commanders fan, even though she can't name, a Commander. But I really enjoy the fact that this is back.
What's your pick, dude?
Who's your pick?
This will be a nice preview.
I took the Ravens. I took the Ravens. I think they're going to blow them out. 10 points.
Oh, you did?
This will be a nice preview for the rematch in February in New Orleans. It'd be great.
Yeah.
There you go. We have a good track record in New Orleans, by the way.
We do. Yeah, they don't know how to keep the lights on there, but
Beyonce's fault.
I mean, Sean, what was the if you don't know, we can look it up, I'm sure. What was the over-under for wins for the Commanders to start the season?
I think it was 6.5.
6 or 7, I was going to say around
Yeah,
then.
it was
We need to go
around,
back to that.
around 7.
We need to go back to that to see what our picks were on that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I expected them to be set around 7. Like I thought Jaden would be awesome. I didn't think he'd be this good right away. I expected their defense to probably suck, but I also didn't know that the division would be kind of underwhelming. I mean, maybe the Cowboys and the Eagles, figure it out and put it together because they both got a ton of talent. But I didn't. I mean, right now, if they went 500 the rest of the year, they win 10 games. They haven't won 11 games since their Super Bowl team in like 91. Like I think they've won 10 games twice in the last like 25 years. So, and right now they're on pace to win more. I don't think they're going to win 12, 13 games. I think they'll probably end up being around 10, but yeah, they've been much better than I thought they'd be. And I got
a theory. I think it's because they actually put up a statue or are going to put up a statue for Sean Taylor instead of whatever the hell the previous owner tried to make. They had like sporting goods,
like a mannequin up of him.
Yeah.
Commanders 6.5 was the over under that we used for our podcast. All three of us took the over, by the way. So good on us. Looking good right now.
Yeah, we're looking great on that one.
Yeah.
So obviously up on the screen we got the updated ones. Brian, I mean, I guess we should be listening to Brian right now. 17-13 on 15-14 push. Dustin's 12-17 in a push. Dustin had a rough week last week.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. I had a very good week last week, so that got me back into shooting distance of Brian. So
I got a weird feeling a couple pushes are happening this week.
Yeah.
Besides the Ravens Commanders, what's the game you're most excited to watch?
I don't think I realized that Detroit and Dallas were playing. I like that one.
Yeah, that one's good. And what was the other one we were looking at that I thought was good?
I mean, Buffalo and the Jets on Monday night is kind of fun.
I think Cardinals and Packers could be exciting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
That could be a good one.
Cardinals are fun to watch just because they're consistently doing either really cool or really stupid stuff.
Yeah. Their defense looked a little bit better last week, too. They didn't look like straight up Swiss cheese. So,
yeah.
Trending.
Yeah, Lions, Cowboys for me.
Yeah, I think that's the game of the week, really. Well, I mean,
other than ours, yeah.
I just don't.
I mean, I think Lamar and Jaden Daniels are both must watch at this point, and they're playing each other. I think that's the most must watch game of the week. It's got to be.
What's the prop bets for rushing yards for the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Oh yeah, I would like to see that.
That could be a fun little $5 bet between Deli and I.
What's up with this McNichols? What's up with this McNichols dude? Is he just J.D. McKissick all over again, or what? You just have Mick something?
He's like a bigger J.D. McKissick. I love J.D. McKissick when he was here. McNichols has been. I mean, he didn't play much the first few weeks, and then Eckler got that concussion and missed the game. And McNichols was awesome. And then last week, Brian Robinson was like a game time decision before the game with a knee injury. He scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, and then like they pretty much pulled him. And then McNichols played a bunch. He's been good. I mean, he's a vet. He's been around for like 5 or 6 years. I think he's been on like 8 different teams. He's good in pass protection. You know, just a solid vet back. Like nothing special, but he's been good. They love him. So hopefully Robinson is healthy and they don't have to rely on him much this week. But I feel like with Robinson being like kind of like a bull in a china shop, gets a ton of contact, and Eckler being injury prone, like they're gonna probably need McNichols more. But been a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I put a poll up on our YouTube channel for who would have more rushing yards this week, Lamar or Daniels. And it's straight up 50-50. I mean, we only have 4 votes on it, so 2 and 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to see that too. But
does anything jump out at you there, Sean? Do you think Derrick Henry 82.5? You think that's about fair for where your defense looks against?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. So Lamar and Jaden, I think those all look pretty on par. I think Jaden has hit over 48 in most of his games. Let me look. He's actually only hit it in 2. He's been at like 47, 44. The thing with Daniels is he hasn't had like the 60-yard run yet, where like he just breaks on like a scramble and takes it to the house. Like I think that's coming at some point. And if it happens this week, my pants might be around my ankles in section 100. But he's been more of like just kind of comes in chunks, hasn't had like a huge run yet. But I would expect, I mean, I think those are all, I mean, shit, I might take all those to take the over. I feel like Henry's been more hit or miss this year, but I don't expect them to be able to stop him. So I think all 3 of those guys might run wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Very excited. What do you think? I wanted to ask you this, and I completely forgot earlier. Do you think the trade of Jahan Dotson? Do you think that's been a detriment to the offense at all, or do you think that's more was like addition by subtraction because he wasn't fitting in with the new scheme or whatever?
At the time, I was kind of confused. I knew he had a bad camp and he was disappointing last year, but was like, hey, you don't really have anyone else like who's like a established number 2. Since then, like I think it's been fine. I think trade wise, I think they might have fleeced Philly. They got a 3rd round pick, and he doesn't do any. He didn't do anything even when he started with Devontae and AJ Brown out. So he's just kind of fallen off a cliff. I don't really get it because he was so good in college and he was really good his rookie year. But they've got Terry, who's really good. Eckler's really good, in the slot and out of the backfield. And then their number 2 receiver's been like, one week it was
Noah or Diami Brown, right?
Yeah, and then another week it's Luke McCaffrey making 3 or 4 catches, and then last week it was Diami Brown. So they've just kind of spread it. The other guys have just all been fine, but there hasn't really been any drop off. I don't think Dotson would do much. Just the fact that he went to Philly, and then the 2 guys in front of him got hurt, and he still did nothing. But they probably still need to go get someone. Like I wouldn't hate them trading for Amari Cooper in a couple weeks or something like that, but the cast outside of Terry has been decent, not great, but not terrible.
Wow, Amari Cooper, I actually really like that. I think he would work well in your offense, and a vet could be a great number 2.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
Any chance we could see 300 plus combined on the ground with the Ravens and Commanders? Yeah, I think absolutely. I think the Ravens could put up probably $150 or at least $150, probably 200 plus by themselves. I think the Commanders will get at least to 100. I don't know. I think that's definitely a possibility.
You think the Commanders are going to get 200 on the ground?
Get to at least 100 is what I said.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Our rushing is going to have to go off to get there because our rushing D has been phenomenal this year. So we'll see. I probably wouldn't take that bet. I'd take the under.
I wouldn't. If you put it at 275, then you're going to make me nervous.
Yeah.
I think, the weakness of both of the teams are the secondary, so I don't think the rushing would be the best bet. I think it's certainly possible, though, because the offenses are really high-powered, and I think they'll continue to move the ball.
Ooh, Joe.
I agree.
LSU Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's going to be a good one. I'm actually excited to watch that one.
I'm going against Joe. Oregon, Ohio State in Eugene. That's the game of the week.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Ohio State's going to fucking stomp them.
I think Ohio State's a lot more talented. I think Oregon's a lot better run. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not a Ryan Day guy.
I've got a buddy here that went to Ohio State, and he's going, so he's pumped.
Oh yeah, he's going to Oregon.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think the Terps are playing an 8:00 game this week against
tomorrow, right? Isn't it tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's a Friday night. Yeah.
What do we got? Who's Maryland got?
Northwestern. Pat Fitzgerald. I think he's still their coach.
Why is that an 8:00 game?
Because it's Friday night, dude. Why not?
Okay.
I don't know. Did you guys see Cam Newton signed with ESPN to be on First Take today? Apparently, he's going to be one of the mainstays on First Take. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Let's try it.
Anything on baseball before we wrap up here? Did you guys watch the games last night? That Lindor grand slam was fucking electric.
That was awesome.
They're the team. Are they the team of destiny? It's either them or Detroit are the team of destiny. I honestly think it's one of those two teams are going to win the World Series.
Yeah, I think so. As much as I dislike the Yankees, I do think a Mets-Yankees World Series would be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Series.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I don't understand how they continue to win games. I don't think that they're that talented. I just don't. But Lindor just whenever he gets up with guys on base, he just comes through. It's crazy.
It seems like he's up every single time that there's a big situation too.
Yeah.
As much as I would never take them to win the World Series, but it just keeps happening. It just keeps on happening.
How do the Dodgers not hit they get 10 runs a game. The first 3 batters are Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman. Like, holy shit. It's 3 of the best hitters in
And
baseball.
Mookie's hit a homer in the first inning in each of the last 2 games.
I don't
It's crazy.
know. I really don't know. I mean, it's playoffs, baby.
Yeah.
This has been a fun playoff.
Um,
I mean, besides for our home team, but
we
it's
got
been a fun playoffs other than that.
Game 4 of Tigers Guardians tonight. The Tigers starter is still to be determined. They haven't picked one yet. And then Game 4 of Yankees Royals is tonight. Garrett Cole versus Michael Wacha. The Yankees have a 2-game-to-1 advantage in that. So advantage Yankees. Garrett Cole's going tonight. I assume they'll probably get that done.
Big Down said the first game he had one that was probably going to go out. They got robbed.
Yeah.
So he would have had 3 home runs. That's
Oh yeah, Profar.
Yeah.
I got to jump. I got a work thing, but I appreciate
All right.
you.
Yeah, we're
See you,
wrapping
Doctor.
up anyway.
There's
Yeah,
Sean, thanks, buddy. Go
See ya.
Benz, baby.
Thank you, buddy.
You guys watching? Is he watching at the club? Oh no, he's going to be at the game this week.
Yeah, he'll be at the game.
Oh yeah, he'll be at the game for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down to the tailgate. Deli's doing a tailgate. There's a rumor on the street that there's gonna be some deep fried Uncrustables.
Oh boy.
I'm
that
surprised
sounds
he's not
incredible.
smoking anything.
What was that?
I'm surprised he's not smoking anything. Is he smoking anything for the tailgate?
He's I don't
He usually
remember.
does that for the night game, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's not going to smoke because he builds his own smoker and he goes there the day prior. I know he's not doing that. He's going morning of, so he's definitely not smoking anything. He's probably just going to be grilling like some tomahawks or something like that. Not that that's a bad substitute. But I'm probably going to go down for about an hour or 2 and then jet back here and watch the game.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, it should be a good weekend. We got at least pretty decent games at the 1 and 4 o'clock time. I don't know how that night game is going to be on Sunday. But go Ravens. It should be a fun game to watch. Really excited for it. And we'll be back next week to recap everything that happened.
Yeah,
Sounds
boys.
good. Anything else
enjoy the
before we sign
weekend.
off here?
Yeah, Brooksy, good luck with everything you got, you and Caitlin have going on. And I'll catch up with you guys later.
Yeah.
Sounds good, boys. Talk to you guys next week.
See you,
All right,
boys.
love you guys.
Love it, man.
Bye.
Bye.